Hi, it's Sean Chewy, and today you're hopefully going to join me in our very first speed build. Or should I say speed decorate, because there's not much to build. While I've terraformed the basic layout of my island, I've left the entrance a blank patch for a good while, and it's time to change that. As you can see, I've already started a little bit, but I've left the bulk of the decoration for the video itself. So, first, what am I going for exactly? I've pondered this and I've settled on the phrase lush forest core, a bit inspired by cottagecore, but a little more magical. I want the island to have more life, more flowers like the ones on this path here, but not too much like red and orange and blinding. I want cozy, serene, and hygge. Without further ado, let's get right into the building. So the first thing I wanted to work on in this build was the path, and I generally like to do the path first because by laying it down I can see where the flow of traffic kind of goes and I can build around it. It also helps when I put other furniture and etc. on top. Now I already had a path on the ground, as you can see, this kind of white flower one, but the reason why I wanted to change it to this one that I found on Tiger's Fairy Core builds is because this one kind of separates itself from the grass a bit better, and I liked how that looked. I also liked the diversity of the flowers in this one a bit more, give it a bit more life. One thing you can see that I'm doing with the paths is that I lay them down not by using the path tool in the Island Designer app, but by actually using my phone and pressing display on ground. And I learned this tip from Ryan FTW's designing videos because it actually speeds up the process a lot faster than having to go into the path tool, choosing a custom design and waiting for the whole animation. And when you want to choose like a new tile, you have to manually change the design on your path. I think this might be helpful to some of you guys who maybe think, oh wow, pathing takes so long, I don't really want to do that. Just use your phone. Another main reason why I picked this path was also because of the little wooden log stumps that you can see me putting down here and there. I thought that added so much personality to the path, and yeah, enjoy the rest of me laying down the path. So the next thing I chose to tackle was this little side area that led to the beach, which I planned to have some sort of pathway through the beach or something like that later on. But for now I wanted a separate branching pathway that looked like an alternative, and therefore I decided to use these log stumps, very cute, fit the whole cottage x fairy core vibe that I was going for. As you can see, I had a bit of an issue placing these because they're just so different to the usual paths, but eventually I got a shape that I was happy with. Now the next area that I did was this kind of display area where I wanted to put items that would kind of set the mood for the whole island. And I decided to use this bunch of mush furniture that my friend Molly was so kind, because I missed the fall event and she crafted 2 of every single item and gave them to me completely for free and wrapped them all in little packages. Thank you so much, Molly. So what I did was I made like a little mushroom area and I put a mush lamp because I really like how that looks. I'm not sure if you're able to tell, but I have a really hard time making up my mind when it comes to designing, so you'll see me running back and forth. Even though I've already cut out so much footage, there is still footage of me being indecisive. Up next is the most challenging part, the middle and the right area, so the part with lots and lots of trees and stuff really. Now you can see that I'll do a lot of things and then undo them and then do them again, and this is after editing because I had so many conflicting ideas. Here I wanted to put a pond stone because I think it was a great way to break out all the woodsy vibes by having something that stood out a bit, but also fit because it was next to a lake. And here is a barrel that I will remove later on. Here I was testing out fencing, and this is when I realized that country fencing looks really good. So I decided to place it by the entrance instead of the spiky fencing. And of course I made sure that I put a custom design under each of the fences in order to make them pop a little bit more. So here I was thinking how to fill the area on the right side by putting down some custom designs. I put down a bucket and I planted a shrub. One interesting object that I used was the butter churn, which is a pretty unusual object, but I thought it looked pretty good over there. So behind this tree in the middle, I decided to fill it up with natural items like the shrub and the mush parasol, and I put a mush lamp to kind of guide the person as they walk across the bridge. Here I was trying to make the garden wagon that I had work, trying different orientations and just putting it in different places. But then I thought, what if I put it in a horizontal fashion so that will kind of frame the entrance? And I think it worked out. I decided to move the mush parasol over here because I was trying to fill out, all the spaces behind these trees and in between them, and I thought that the mush parasol poking out from behind the trees was a really nice touch. And here I'm just changing some of the custom designs to, add a bit more variety. And what I did here was I put some flowers in between to kind of make them poke out, similar to the mush parasol, add a bit more detail. This country fence that I put in front of the cedar tree is probably one of my favorite details because I think it aids the flow so much. You can see me here adjusting some of the details here and there, just touching up. Changing up the custom designs and the mush lamp. So last but not least, I decided to add a bit of nature onto this cliff top to kind of create a good backdrop for when you walk into the island. As you can see, I had a bit of trouble deciding which custom designs to use, even though they didn't matter too much, but eventually I just settled with a few and put my log stakes. I also used some shrubs here to kind of fill in the area a bit more, combined with a variety of white flowers. That was the final walkthrough. Thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week, and don't forget to take care of yourself, even if there's a lot going on. Drink lots of water. With that said, see you soon. Goodbye.